On this Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi P0128 is a thermostat rationality code. In plain terms, the PCM is watching the engine warm up and comparing what the coolant temperature should be doing against what the ECT signal says is actually happening. The driver may only notice the MIL, but the engine may also seem slow to warm up or run cooler than expected. The broad areas to keep in mind are coolant level and condition, cooling system flow or restriction problems, an ECT signal issue, and a thermostat that may be opening too early. For the diagnostic logic, this is a warm-up model check. The PCM builds a coolant warm-up model from startup coolant temperature, ambient temperature, vehicle speed, and engine speed, then compares that model to the ECT sensor reading. The thermostat is considered wrong if coolant temperature does not reach the temperature needed for other diagnostics, or if the warmed-up coolant temperature does not get within 0 degrees C, 20 degrees F of the thermostat regulating temperature. Treat the running requirements as monitor gates, not as parts to condemn by themselves. The engine is running, startup coolant temperature is less than 65 degrees C, 149 degrees F. Ambient temperature is between -8 degrees C, 6 degrees F, and 50 degrees C, 122 degrees F. Average vehicle speed is greater than 16 km/h, 10 mph. Until coolant temperature reaches 85 degrees C, engine speed does not go above 5,400 RPM for more than 32 seconds, and the pass/fail determination point is reached when the coolant temp model reaches 88 degrees C, 194 degrees F. If those gates were not met, reproduce the operating conditions before judging the result. Start with the basic system checks before going into the P0128 path. Also, do not open the cooling system hot. The system is under pressure, and opening it hot can cause severe burns or scalding. Let the engine cool before opening the cooling system. Next, turn the ignition on and use the scan tool to read and record the codes. If any ECT or AAT codes are active or pending, handle those first. If they are not active or pending, stay on the P0128 path and move to the coolant check. Inspect the engine coolant for proper level and condition. If the coolant level and condition are correct, continue to thermostat operation. If they are not correct, fix the coolant level or condition problem, inspect for coolant leaks and repair them if necessary, fill the coolant to the proper level, make sure the condition is correct, and then verify the repair and confirm the code stays gone. For the thermostat test, the best starting point is a fully cold-soaked engine. Let the vehicle sit outside long enough to cool to ambient temperature, then read the ECT value on the scan tool. If it was truly cold-soaked, that value should be sensible and close to ambient temperature. If the engine coolant temperature is above 82 degrees C, 180 degrees F, let the engine cool until it reaches at least 65 degrees C, 150 degrees F, or cooler before continuing. Start the engine and monitor ECT during warm-up. The scan tool temperature should rise smoothly from startup to thermostat opening temperature. At the same time, check actual coolant temperature with a digital thermometer at or near the ECT sensor and thermostat positions. As the engine warms up, the thermometer reading and scan tool ECT should stay relatively close. A noticeable mismatch may point to an inaccurate ECT signal to the PCM. Record the temperature where the thermostat opens and compare it to the specified opening temperature for that thermostat. If it opens at the proper temperature, continue to the radiator and restriction check. If it does not, replace the thermostat, then verify the repair and confirm the code stays gone. If the thermostat operation checks out, move to the radiator and restriction side. The engine must be running and the thermostat open for this test. Compare temperature at the radiator inlet and outlet, then check the whole cooling system for proper operation. Pay attention to the radiator cap, flow through the radiator, and anything that can cause loss of system pressure or poor coolant flow. A cooler outlet temperature is normal, but a very large inlet-to-outlet difference can indicate a radiator restriction, and that can set this code because of where the ECT sensor is located in the cooling system. If needed, compare the temperature difference to a similar vehicle. If the difference is relatively larger than expected, check the cooling system and radiator for proper flow, then verify the repair and confirm the code stays gone. If the difference is not larger than expected, replace the thermostat, then verify the repair and confirm the code stays gone. Keep the verification separate from the testing. After the correction is made, run the vehicle through verification and make sure P0128 stays gone. The takeaway is simple. Prove the coolant is full and clean, prove the temperature signal makes sense, prove the thermostat opens at the right point, and only then judge radiator flow or restriction. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.